So I'm back today again. We want to talk about something very interesting. I don't know why I thought of doing this. This is a very interesting episode which could help a lot of us. And the reason for that, because 70% of my clients, those who are coming to see me, 70% I would say, they are coming for the reason of not having a relationship or unhappy relationship or unhappy marriages. Most of them are very sad because no marriage, no relationship, or even the relationships coming to an end within no time. Unhappy due to various reasons, and that's why they come and see me. And why is that? Mainly, some category they are coming because marriage, there's the delay. They don't find a suitable partner. Sometimes people panic after 30, 35 years. They think they are too late for a relationship. So they worry. And then again, parents, they come and see me, worrying about their children, not yet married. My daughter having a good job and pretty girl, but no marriage, no relationship, age 40. So I feel very sad about these issues. Now I can understand. I got married at the age of 24 and my wife was 19. Now I am 45 years happily married, so I have a lot of experience on this topic. And the other thing, majority of my clients, they were coming and discussing about their marriage and relationship problems, and I did learn a lot, and I feel very sad. Such a beautiful union, why they can't have it or maintain it. And problems in relationship, some they have numerous problems and they come and talk to me because of that. And the reasons in the relationship most of the time, that is what they say, abusive nature, and some are into drugs and alcohol, and disharmony in marriage, and some behavioral problems, anger, abusive nature also there, and some extramarital affairs. They say cheated, he cheated or she cheated. So this is unfaithful extramarital affairs that also create problems. And some are not sexually happy. That because they don't get what they want and they are not happy. And they don't think about the other partner's feelings. And some, because of loneliness and boredom, they are unhappy in relationship. So a lot of issues, unhappiness in relationship, mainly abusive nature, extramarital affairs and alcoholism and financial issues and things like that. Now, today in the Western world especially, 50% of the marriages separated, 50% separations. And then 1 in 3, every marriage end up with a divorce. 1 in 3, it's a massive amount, 50% separations. And what is marriage? It's the most important, beautiful union between two mentalities. Can be same-sex marriage, or can be different sex marriages, can be two different mentalities trying to live in harmony. That is marriage. They wanted to have a companionship, they wanted to share things together, and they want to live in harmony. That is the marriage. But the marriage is, when it is recorded on a document, we call it marriage. If not, it will be de facto relationship. But doesn't matter. The problem starts most of the time once it is recorded and you have to live under one roof. Then it is the difficulty. Because first 2-3 years, when we enjoy a relationship, initial stages, we don't feel those problems. But once we are under one roof and with a lot of commitments and a lot of issues to deal with, then the disharmony comes. We have to understand that. And most of the young people, they think the marriage is so beautiful, and they simply jump into that, thinking that will be the most beautiful journey. But they don't understand that it is like driving a manually operated manual gearbox, the car with a manual gearbox, driving it, a manual car. So, when you drive a car with manually operated car, manual gears, you have to clutch it properly and then put the gear to the first one and then clutch again and put it to the second. If not, there will be a rattling noise. So you need to learn how to drive the car. Marriage is also like that. You have to take time to get tuned into it. So what I say with young couples, it will take about 2 years to get tuned into the marriage. We need to learn these two mentalities. We have different characteristics. We need to get it blended or share it. That's very important. And it is the most interesting joint venture. But I always tell them this is a joint venture without a boss. But this I can see in horoscope most of the time. Because of the influence of planet Mars, some they take the upper hand, bossy nature. So this cannot be tolerated. That is one of the places where I check in compatibility studies. The masculinity and femininity of both parties. It's very important. Some are very headstrong, independent, and they want their partner to do everything in the way they want. But that will not work. They can't understand that. But once you look at the horoscope, you can learn how it could react on you. And the other thing what I ask from young couples, now you both got married after associating and having a relationship for some time and enjoying together. Why don't you find time to contemplate on that, how you spent time together in the first 6 months or first 1 year, how beautiful it was. The first time we saw someone from the distance, and then we were happy. We got attracted from seeing a person from a distance because of the beauty or whatnot. And then we had the opportunity to talk. That communication, the talk, that attracted us more and more because of the topics we discuss, or the sweet talk maybe sometimes, or our ideas were similar, so we got attracted. That's another reason. And then what happened after that? After that we had the opportunity to hug or touch, embrace each other. So that was beautiful, fine. And then we got the opportunity of doing things together, going out together, or going for a movie, or enjoying the time together, have a meal together. So like that, we got attached, and it was so beautiful. The person we saw from the distance, we had the opportunity to talk to the person, and then we had the opportunity to hug the person, and then we had time to do things together. But this we forget. That's the problem. Sadly, this beauty, this starts to fade away due to some reasons. We don't realize that. Occasionally, we should find time to sit and contemplate on those beautiful times. That's why it is important to take a time out or go for a holiday and enjoy. That's very important. But what are the main reasons to forget this? What are the main reasons to forget this beautiful time we had? That is because one reason, stressful at work. No time. stressful at work, no time to sit with each other, and then too many commitments, then family, extended family issues, then too many friends, associating with too many friends, no time for the couple to enjoy, to be together. Or family, extended family, it's important, we need to think about them, but sometimes people will not find time to do all that because of this stressful situation at work, etc. Then some with high expectations. That is also not good, high expectations. They think after the marriage, wow, fine, we can develop everything, we can have a beautiful car, we can do this, we can have a nice house, we can do everything. Expectations too high and want to achieve too quickly. Then also the whole path can get messy. And greed, too much of greed and desire, wants to have this and that, limitless desire, limitless greed, even limitless desire for love relationship. But that also you've got to have a time limit should be there. So these are the problems sometimes develop in different interests. Some, they have different interests, the other party will not like it. So some have some obsessions. Obsessions also can be a problem. So these reasons we need to identify. Getting stressed at the work, or no time for each other to sit and enjoy a cup of tea even, and then too many commitments in the society, too much of friends and social activities, and then we have high expectations, lot of greed and desire for this and that, and developing different interests, and then obsessions like that. But we need to understand in a marriage there are certain things that we have to prioritize. This beautiful, sweet marriage where we got together with a lot of love, the priority has to be living in harmony happily. That's why we got together. To be happy, to share everything, to have a harmonious lifestyle, and being together can do things more, because sharing and caring will help us to develop more and have a better life. So while enjoying, we have to do that. And then the second thing is have time for family and children. That's very important. Having time for family and children, it's also important. And not to run behind material comforts. That's what most of the time it disturbs. Running behind material comforts, that's not the best. And then I always say with young couples or anybody, old, doesn't matter, any age, if you are fit and if you are in good health, if a person is in good health and fit enough and mentally okay, and no matter what, no difference about age, all of us need love, all of us need to get cared, all of us need to embrace each other. That's very important. We have feelings. So the physical touch, physical feelings, that's very important. Sensual pleasure is very important. Sexuality is very important. We need to find little bit of time for this, to be together. When we are too busy with day-to-day activities, running behind everything, then sadly we forget this. And that leads to more and more frustration. It is a known fact that estrogen or testosterone can increase the sex drive. But at the same time, it is good for bones and muscles. And even it is good to keep your heart in good condition. That's a known fact. So in a happily married couple, we got to have time to be together. But everything has to be a limit. Limitations important. Have to get time to be together, time to discuss, time to contemplate how we associated and did things together. Enjoy. Have time to smile. But sadly, in this competitive society, it's not easy to do that. It's not easy to do that in this competitive society, but you need to train to do that. So what happened gradually, because of this busy nature, first we forget how we started the journey. Then we start not to respect each other. We don't respect each other. We don't respect each other's gift. Your partner can be gifted in certain good things. You need to respect that. Vice versa, you have to respect. That's important. And then we need to share things. Sharing also not happening. We need to learn to share, and then must be helpful. Sometimes I can see one partner will do a lot of work in the household, but there's no support from the other partner. We have to be helpful. That is important. Understanding the feelings, If we understand the feelings, how the partner is suffering or working hard to do something good for the family, we need to understand, we have to appreciate it, we have to be helpful. But you can't expect this from each and everybody. Sometimes not possible, maybe due to other external issues, but we must try to understand this and discuss about this. And if the other party is happy, then it's okay. We have to share our feelings together, and we have to trust each other. That's another thing. Mistrust. That is very hard to run a happy marriage. We have to trust each other. We have to be faithful, and we have to be very caring. Communication is important, very loving communication, not abusive communication. This abusive communication we can see in the horoscope. Mars and Mercury together. Mars is the fighter, Mercury is communication. When that is together in the relationship chart, I can see communication can be a bit abrupt and too direct, too straightforward. Then I warn them, imagine with this it's difficult to go forward. Or if the Mars is in the very first house in the horoscope, especially in the relationship chart, very independent, headstrong characters. So looking at the planetary pattern in the marriage chart, that's very important. That's very important. We can see the characteristic of individuals. And then some not listening. Many, they are not listening. Some may not hear properly. Some are not bothered to listen even. But this has to be discussed with the partner. Must put some effort. If not, we can't neglect. We can't just say, I didn't hear. We must try to put some effort and make some changes. That's the way to go. And some they think partner second, I must do it first. That's also, they're very childish. Always respect the partner. That's the best way to do. And even some people, they forget their date of marriage. Believe me, they forget the date of marriage. That's not fair. I know people sometimes they forget the date of birth, their children also. That shows how committed they are. That's not nice. And sadly what happened, because of all these things, that beautiful love fades away. Sad. And then the love fades away, what happened? Then it started anger, hatred. Every petty thing leads to get angry and hating everything, and jealousy. Some even they are not happy if the partner is doing a better job than the other one. Some men, that could happen very much if wife is doing better, having a better job, very lucrative job than the husband. This also could happen. There is some sort of jealousy. But we have to understand, she's my wife, she's my husband, he's my husband or my wife. How happy, great, that all bring a lot of positive things to the family. That's how we have to look at this. And headstrong nature, as I said, very independent and headstrong. That is not possible in a marriage because it's a joint venture without a boss. So we both have to discuss and communicate and do things. And then at the end comes abusive nature, physically or verbally. Pretty dangerous things happening in this world. Physically abusive nature. End up with very miserable situations. Please don't go up to that level. We need to identify these things as soon as possible to discuss. That's why they come and meet the astrologer. Getting spiritual counseling or meeting a counselor can help, but astrological chart, birth chart, that is one of the greatest tools to understand our talents and gifts and personality traits and characteristics. Based on that, we can advise a person. Please try to get better. Don't allow these negative personality traits to come to the forefront and destroy the relationship. That's very important. And then what happened after the end of that, due to this unsatisfactoriness in the relationship, anger, hatred, jealousy and all that, then arguments, then quarrels, domestic fights, and then developing greed for other material comforts, and then develop excessive feelings, and that leads to sexual feelings and looking for extramarital issues, and then come up with extramarital affairs and cheating and all that can happen. So that is the end. Still we can change if we are ready to make a change. Still we can. We need not to separate. What people do, they don't find time. They just postpone these things and then start to sleep in two different rooms. There's no master bedroom after that. Sleeping in two different rooms, and then separate budgets and cooking separately at home, paying the bills separately. Oh God, financially separating. Credit cards, everything separated. But I have seen many young couples from the very beginning they have two different accounts, two different credit cards, but they are not happy. That is mistrust. If we should learn to trust 100% each other, why do we want to have two different credit cards, two different bank accounts? No, we should know what we are spending, how we are spending. It's one of the most important joint ventures, I said, no boss, and the most beautiful joint venture if we can maintain it. And sadly, because of all these things, as I said, 50% of the marriages, they go into separations. 50%. And who is suffering? Children. Children, they suffer. Then what happened? Our products, our children, they will not do well in their life, because this relationship disputes and problems inside the house, that can disturb the children very much. We have to understand that. We are liable for that. We brought our children to this world, and we must make sure that they become better children. They become better citizens. They do well in their life. If not, what is the point of our life? And 1 in every 3, divorce. And divorce means financially collapsing. Very hard. So, please understand, there are no marriages 100% smooth and sweet. Don't ever think the marriage is, there are people having 100% sweet and, oh God, marvelous marriages. No, that's not there. I have seen thousands and thousands of couples. We all have some issues in the marriage. That's okay, because two different mentalities living together. But understanding each other is the most important thing. Understanding each other is the most important thing. Differences, sometimes it's good. It's a little bit of friction that help us to go forward, that help us to solve problems. We should have different opinions sometimes. That way we find a better path. So we need to identify these things very early. And some they don't identify. Even when they identify, they just postpone it. They think it's better not to talk with anybody. Taboo. No, we shouldn't show that to the society. But inside the house, it's a real mess. And some they get separated after 1 year of the marriage. Some after 5 or 6 years. Some after even 20, or some even I have seen after 40 years of marriage, separation. How sad. What have they done for 30, 40 years? They haven't done anything. We don't build up a house to collapse in 10 or 40 years. We need to lay a good foundation. So the marriage, they haven't started with a good foundation. So it's good to talk about this topic and discuss. We have no right to separate. It's not that fair. It is easily, can rectify these problems. So sometimes these things happen due to workplace related issues, stress at the workplace, or some they develop marital affairs at the workplace. Sad. And then sometimes difficulties when after getting children. Life gets too stressful. Not only one, sometimes 2 or 3 children have to cope up with that. But our parents, they had 7, 8, 10 children in the family. They managed to do that because their priorities were different. So then the other thing is being away for a long period. Some they work overseas for a couple of years. They don't see their partner. Then the problems will start definitely. If married, you need to make sure that you meet the family often. Then comes some they act like very faithful partners, but they have extramarital affairs behind them. So that's also bad. And then comes health issues, depressed situation, or even hormonal imbalance. That could happen, especially women after childbirth or after hysterectomy or something. They can have hormonal imbalance. We should understand all these things and respect the partner. And then loneliness, boredom, that also can create problems. So the main thing is to find time to discuss. That is why some people, they come and see me. They want to discuss why this happened. What is the very reason? How can we overcome this? We can't blame any party because you cannot clap with one hand. We cannot blame. We have to discuss openly and try to make a change. If we put some effort, it's possible. It's possible. Now what happened in this modern society, because there are ways and means to live alone, they separate easily. But during my parents' time, that about 70 years ago, it was not possible to separate because there was no social security, no social support. They manage and they learn how to go with the marriage and bring up children. They didn't run away, that's the thing. But nowadays in modern society, people do run away. So why do they come and check the horoscope? The horoscope, as I said, can see a lot of things. Yeah, definitely marriage, we can see a lot of things about marriage, especially we look at the 7th house. The planets in the 7th house or the planets that aspect or see the 7th house can create these problems. Especially Mars, if it is in the 7th house, very arrogant, independent partners, manipulative, headstrong, arrogant, independent partners can come into the marriage. Mars is the fighter in the 7th house. Or there can be certain arguments and things happening in the marriage. If Venus is in the 7th house, what happens? Venus is a beautiful planet for love. But Venus in the 7th house, it's good. It can bring a beautiful, creative, nice looking, good looking partner, but at the same time Venus can give excessive desire for sensual pleasure or material comforts. We have to have a balance. Too much of Venus also not good. And then if the planet Mercury is in the horoscope, Mercury is a young planet. That's how astrology we say. Mercury is a young planet or communicative planet. If Mercury is in the horoscope in a very good position, especially in the marriage chart, you need to see that there's adequate communication within the relationship. If Mercury is totally debilitated, has no value in the birth chart, then lack of communication is a big issue. I have seen this in many couples. Lack of communication. Because Mercury is not strong. And if Mercury is very good in the 7th house, Mercury has the nature of doubling anything, duality. So Mercury can give a second marriage possible because Mercury can double it. So we can warn on these directions not to have any disputes and problems because this could happen. It doesn't mean just because it's in the horoscope it's going to happen. We can change it a little bit. If we adopt a spiritual lifestyle, we can change it a little bit. And then the other thing, Moon in the 7th house, early marriage possible. And the marriage is little bit fluctuating like waning moon, waxing moon and no moon. Different phases, emotional, sensitive issues can be there in the relationship. That's okay. Moon is also related to mother. So most of us sometimes we think we got married, we can go wherever we want and we can live happily. But if the moon is in the 7th house, there's some commitment towards mother. There's some connection, link with the mother. They cannot forget mother. Mother is another person that has to go with the marriage. Because moon is the 7th house. And then we have Jupiter. Wow, that's pretty good. I like Jupiter in the 7th house. Jupiter is very strong in the 7th house, such a beautiful planet. That means, I say always, Jupiter is the young spiritual teacher. And Jupiter in the 7th house means automatically a devoted, caring and spiritual partner will fall on your lap. No second word. I have seen that many times. Jupiter in the 7th house, oh God. I always pray that they get a devoted, caring and spiritual partner. But Mars in the 7th house, wow, that's a bit of issue. And how about Saturn in the 7th house? Saturn is the most mature planet. Saturn in the 7th house, if it's very strong, or Saturn aspect in the 7th house, what happens? Relationship, marriage will get delayed. It will not happen so early. Because Saturn is a limping old spiritual teacher going with a walking stick. So it will not happen so quickly. It takes time. Sometimes after about 8:30, 7:30, 8 like. Even a bit late can be. So if I see Saturn in the 7th house or Saturn is very strong in the relationship chart, I tell them, look, don't be in a hurry. Saturn wants you to be a mature person. With maturity and responsibility, later you can marry it. No need to rush. It will come. And sometimes I have seen Saturn in the 7th house because it's old planet, limping old spiritual teacher. It's very funny. I have seen even 25-year-old girls or men marrying a partner who is 15 or 20 years older. That is Saturn. Saturn always tries to bring an older person, mature, responsible person, good, but sometimes older. And they're happy. The partner is 20 years older. They're happy. That is Saturn's nature. And if the sun is there, little bit tricky because sun is a burning planet. Sun make little bit incompatibility in sexuality and feelings. Sun is a bit of a burning planet. 7th house is not the best, or aspect in 7th house is not that great. And then we have combinations of planets. If Mars and Venus together in the marriage chart, wow, that's also something that I am a bit worried, because Mars is men, Venus means women. Mars and Venus together, men and women, love, and we have seen books about Mars and Venus. That is too much of interest for sexuality and sensual pleasure, and they will look for some marital issues. They will look for some extramarital affairs. So when I see Mars and Venus together, I always say, please don't allow your mind to run away just because you saw something better than this. Please. And I always tell people, when Venus is strong also, please respect women. Respect women, respect men. This respect is very important. Mars and Venus is not a great thing to have in a horoscope. Sometimes we have to be careful about marital affairs, unsatisfactoriness in marriage. And then what happened, Moon and Mars. Moon, I said, that's motherly influence. Mars is a bit of arrogant. Sometimes you could have some influence of a mother who is a bit angry, or a bit of a headstrong mom could involve in this relationship a little bit. And Mars and Mercury. Mercury is communication, Mars is arrogant. So abrupt communication, argumentative nature, that can be in the marriage, Mars and Mercury. So these things all can lead to problems when we identify these things. And I see that my clients sometimes, many times they say that, yes, that's true, that is me. And then we discuss how to get rid of this nature, how to get better. So those are the remedies, very important. That is, prioritize first of all your needs in the marriage. Marriage is not to develop a mansion. Marriage is not to create wealth. Marriage is not to have all the comforts in the world. Marriage is to living together in harmony and sharing and caring, having a beautiful life, companionship, and to have beautiful children. That is marriage. And have some quality time to enjoy. That's another remedy. Have some quality time to enjoy the marriage. If you are not enjoying the marriage, if there's no quality time for this beautiful joint venture, then no wonder it will get rusted. That's the way. And have time to talk while respecting each other, listen to each other, and discuss all these issues. Whether you have some of these issues, discuss and think how to eliminate, how to get better, and control your desire and needs. Running behind your desire and needs, oh God, that can kill people. Desire is the worst thing. And then be spiritual, that is very important. Look at things lovingly, happily, enjoy what you see around your partner inside the house, and associate happily, lovingly, but maintain spirituality. Spirituality is the key point always. What is the spirituality? Leading a life with compassion and loving kindness, not to hurt anyone's feelings. Spirituality is not easy to develop. It's with the time it will. Not to hurt anyone's feeling, compassion, loving kindness, leading a trustful life, caring, sharing, attending to each other's needs, respecting each other. It's all spiritual. Spirituality is not going to the church or mosque or the temple. I have seen a lot of people, they do all those rituals and going to temple or mosque or doing a lot of things, but they don't maintain that compassion, loving kindness and things within the family, with their partners. That's very important. And then we come how to get better in spiritual way. Do meditation. It's very important. Meditation, do yoga, exercises, meditative yoga. It's important. Meditation will help you to calm down and relax. Then you can think more. Then you can understand more. And then I also recommend people to do a little bit of gardening. Gardening means working with the Mother Earth and putting your creativity to create a nice flower bed or veggie patch, that is some sort of meditation. Your creative ideas, you put that into the Mother Earth. There's a subtle meaning behind this. Creativity comes from Venus. Mother Earth is Mars. Mars and Venus will be happy. That's how you get rid of this Martian Venus energy. So gardening is a good therapy. Talk to plants. They won't shout at you. They'll be happy. So to remind you, there are a lot of things I discuss here. Marriage is the most beautiful union, and you will see the beauty of it the more you get older. Because young age, it's very easy to move around friends, have parties, have picnics, go for tours, enjoy. With young age you can do that, and those little bit of cracks in the relationship you will not see. But by the time you see those cracks, it could be too late. So the moment you see little bit of crack in the relationship, find time to discuss with someone. Find a good astrologer to go through your horoscope and study what the planets could say. If you are not believe in this, then don't worry about this. But the beauty of the marriage comes when you get older. When you get older, you don't have friends around you that much. No parties around that much. Not much of traveling. You will be full-time at home. With whom? With your loving partner. So you've got to have a good partner. You have to maintain it from the very beginning. The longer you stay together, it's pretty good. Now I am almost 45 years married. Not that we had a very beautiful, harmonious life every day. No, ups and downs are there. But that's how we go. It's so beautiful. And it's much beautiful to see that having beautiful children and then grandchildren. The products are good. That's the importance of the marriage. So I want you to find time, relax, and get together, think about these topics, and try to go back to the time that you met together. Your initial first couple of months or the first 2-3 years in the marriage. Wow, that was so beautiful. We were longing to see the partner on the other day. We were counting days until she or he comes to us. So it was so beautiful. We forgot the whole world. We had no problems. But why after a couple of years marriage problems? Because of greed, ego, pride, anger, hatred, no communication, no respect. So spirituality is very important. You can change, you will make change, you will be happy. That's my wish, and that will definitely happen. So I wish you all the best. If you have any queries, please feel free to contact me. Thank you. Bye-bye.